Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Broke Engineer. Today we're going to be creating a hovercraft. We'll start with stage 1, one motor. Here, the fan blows air into an airbag, which inflates and reduces the friction between the hovercraft and the ground. So before any of you... So just know that it's not supposed to fly, but hover kind of like an air hockey puck. So let's get into it. Yeah, no, that's about it.
It's time to test it out now.
So why do they call you the broke engineer?
It's because despite my financial...
Is it because you keep breaking stuff?
So the code that I wrote told the motor to go from 0% to 80% speed instantaneously. A jump that fast is only possible whenever people look at my Spotify playlist and say, whoa, that's better than I thought it was going to be. What you mean by that?
What you mean by that?
In order to spin the motor from 0 to 80 immediately, the motor needs a lot of current. And unfortunately, the ESC can't handle that. Because the motor couldn't handle that much current, that much amps, it burnt itself out. So I upgraded the 30A ESC, which can handle 30 amps, into a 40A ESC. I also obviously changed the code so that it goes from 0% to 80% over the course of something like 5 seconds. Now that that's fixed, it works now. Oh, never mind. The motor burnt out when the ESC burnt out too. So why? Thanos snapped half the money from our bank account? And we bought these motors. Except there was just one problem.
The bananas were too small.
They couldn't fit into the ESC's female ends.
Because the bananas were too small.
So not only did I need to buy some banana clips, I also had to get a soldering kit.
Because the bananas were too small.
And learn how to solder.
Because the bananas were too small.
I spent an obscene amount of time trying to learn how to switch the banana clips.
So you don't make the same mistakes that I did.
Here's some of the things I learned. Don't use a plastic clamp while soldering. It'll get hot, and you'll have to restart, obviously. When you're trying to connect a wire to something, it's usually best to tin the wire. And what that is placing a little bit of solder on the wire, letting it absorb. And what that does is allow the solder on the wire to stick with other solder easier. The easiest way to connect banana clips to wires is to fill up this hole with solder first and press the wire onto the solder while constantly heating up the solder through this little gap over here. Oxidization is a huge problem with soldering. It's when this black rust gets on the tip of the soldering iron and it renders it useless. The best solution that I've come across is to place a little bit of solder onto the tip so that it's covered and oxidization can't happen. So essentially, don't wipe it clean every time you use it. And also, trust me, I know.
Honestly, I felt like Iron Man the entire time. And honestly, if you think about it, we're not really that different. I mean, he blows things up on purpose, I blow them up accidentally. He hacks into military networks, and I hack into my screen time. He built an Iron Man suit without instructions, but me, I built an IKEA table with instructions.
Now that that works, but it didn't work as well as I would have liked it to.
So I tried a few things and broke a few fingers, but I found out what the problem was. There were 3 major problems that I discovered, and the biggest concept to understanding it is understanding that the air needs to go somewhere. So when the fan blows air into the Hovercraft trash bag, it kind of just collected in the bag and didn't have anywhere to go. So with this excess pressure, it would escape through the gaps on the top side of the hovercraft. But simply by making a small hole in the bottom, the air can release underneath the hovercraft and cause it to hover. There were gaps that shouldn't have been there, so I taped those off too. And thirdly, the entire system was kind of thick, so I reduced the thickness of everything and reprinted it.
And then it worked. But it was obvious that it couldn't lift the electronics. So in part 2, I'll be adding 2 motors.